Assistant Michelle. Hey everybody, it's Burton Kelso, technology expert, here live at the South KC Chamber event, talking about cybersecurity. Ask your questions. I'm going to hand this over to Michelle, and she's going to fill. See, I set it all up for you. All you just have to do is follow me around. For those who don't know me, my name is Burton Kelso. Not like that. Again, my name is Burton Kelso. I've owned Integral for the past 23 years. We've helped people like yourselves around the metro area with technology issues, whether it be removing viruses, setting up networks. We do on-site repair and we do online repair locally and across the nation. So here I'm today to talk about cybersecurity and how it affects your small businesses. And I kind of know this presentation, but I mean, we deal with this in our day-to-day business operations. Cybersecurity is a big problem with individuals and with small businesses. And the problem is that most small businesses think that they're not at risk. But most hackers understand that small businesses usually don't have an IT staff on hand to make sure that they have the latest protections that they need to keep hackers and scammers from stealing their business data. I mean, you've got all sorts of threats out there that are affecting small businesses. You've got the socially engineered viruses that either yourself as an owner of a company or an employee can accidentally click on, thinking that it's an important email that pertains to your business. If you have a larger business, you can become a victim of a direct denial of service attack where hackers can bombard your website or your email and make your website not accessible. And of course, you've got the biggest threat of 2016, which is ransomware. And I don't want to get up here and lecture, so if you guys have questions or just want me to shut up, just raise your hand and I'll try to make the best possible, make it happen. So, how many people out there know what ransomware is? By a show of hands. I'm going to pick somebody. I know you know what it is, Dwayne. What's ransomware? Don't shrug your shoulders. You said you knew what it was.
Money demanded for release of data that's been hacked.
That's correct. Ransomware is the biggest threat of 2016. Ransomware, you get an email, get an attachment in an email, you click on it. Next thing you know, all the files on your Windows and Macintosh computer is locked up. What can you do about that? Nothing. You can pay the ransom to the scammers, but chances are you're not going to get your information back. So you're stuck. So with ransomware, you definitely do not want to pay the ransom because you're not going to get your information back. But you want to take steps to make sure that you don't fall victim to scams like ransomware. So we're going to go through this PowerPoint presentation that I took the time to make. I'm not a big, well, I like PowerPoint, but anyway, the cyber security stories always affect large businesses. We've all heard of the Yahoo hack, right? Everyone, yes? Show of hands. Target, a couple of Christmases ago, got hacked. What's another? Anyone, just shout it out. What's a large company that got hacked recently?
DNC.
Did they? Oh yeah, I guess they did. Yeah. Large company. Someone else. Procter & Gamble. Yeah. See, I didn't know about that one. I know LinkedIn, which probably affects all of us, got hacked. One of the biggest scams that's going on right now is with Facebook, with profiles being hacked and profiles being spoofed. And the whole idea is to get your information so that scammers can sell that to other people. But again, it's just not the large businesses that are being hacked. Small businesses are targeted too because they don't have the infrastructure, the IT staff to handle that. 90% of small businesses don't take the necessary precautions to make sure their businesses are protected. I mean, we go into businesses all the time where they've got weak Wi-Fi passwords, or the computers have no Wi-Fi passwords. They've got mobile devices that are going out in the field that don't have the proper protection. So if they get stolen, then you got access to your company's secrets. There's companies we go into where they don't have a good cyber policy in place so that their employees know what they should do and what they shouldn't do concerning cybersecurity in their business. And hackers across the nation and overseas take advantage of this ignorance. And it really needs to stop, because small businesses and individuals are the weakest links when it comes to hacking in our great country. So let's go back, or go to the tips of what you can do. Number one, good strong passwords are your best defense. Why is that? Well, most online accounts require a password, and more online accounts are starting to use the combination of an email address and a password. And where people fall or get lazy is that they will use the same email address and the same password for all of their online accounts. So you may think that's fine to use that weak password username combination with your Uber account, but hackers realize that people are using those password email combinations for their online accounts. But we had a customer whose Uber account got hacked. A few weeks later, her Bank of America account got hacked. And it's all because she used the same email address and the same password combination for Uber and for Bank of America, and probably a whole host of other online accounts. And in the businesses that we go into and the homes that we go into, people are guilty of using the same combination for all of their accounts. And it puts you at risk, because maybe it's not a big deal that you've got a weak password for that Amazon account. But keep in mind, if you're a regular Amazon user, your credit card information is in there. Same thing with your bank. It may be okay to use that weak password combination because you think, well, I'll only check my bank account or my business banking account at home. But if a hacker gets your email and gets that information, the next thing you know, they're transferring funds. So what should you do as far as a password? Well, it needs to be at least 8 characters or more, with a combination of capital letters, special characters, and numbers. They used to say that you could use passphrases, but now, unfortunately, it's just best to make up some random password that is not a phrase or a word or associated with anything that pertains to you, in order to keep yourself safe. So, how many years would it take for someone to hack, like if you had a 4-letter password? Yeah, it's pretty instant. So the longer the password, and 8's the minimum, the better off you're going to keep cyber criminals at bay. But the most important thing that if I say anything today, you don't do anything else that I recommend. Change your passwords on a regular basis. Make sure that you're not using the same passwords for any of your online accounts. And I know for some small businesses, the line can blur versus business accounts and personal accounts. You want to keep that all separate. Yes?
So how do you recommend, if we're having different passwords for all of our accounts, how do you recommend we keep track of all those? Should we have it written down somewhere, or is that too risky, or should we use like those programs where you put your stuff into that, or?
Oh, that's a good question. I have always said it depends on what's comfortable to you. There's a business not far from here where they use an old dictionary to write down all their passwords. It's a business. So if they need a password, they just go to the old beat-up dictionary, thumb through the book, and find out a password for multiple accounts, and it works great. Other ways that you can keep track of those passwords is you can use online services such as LastPass or OnePass, where it'll keep track of all of your online accounts. And LastPass is free, and you can download it to any device, such as a computer or a smart device, and it'll keep track of all of those online accounts. There's OnePass, and I think there's a free Fastlane. I think it's the other one that you can use in order to keep track of all your online passwords. Another thing that you can do, and this is if you password protect it. Oh, I was looking for my phone, and Michelle's got it. I got my iPad. Another thing you can do, like an iPad or an Android device, has a notepad program in it, so you can put all your passwords in it, as long as you password protect your smart device. It doesn't make any sense for you to store all your passwords on your smart device and then have someone steal it. It defeats the purpose. So those are a couple of things you can do, but it's whatever makes you feel comfortable, because I know it's a pain in the butt to keep track of all those passwords, and trust me, with all the online stuff that we deal with, it can be a pain. Any more questions about passwords? Okay. My favorite, and I know this is going to upset a lot of people. Stop using free email addresses or free email accounts for business. If you have a Yahoo account, Gmail account, Hotmail, Outlook, AOL account, not only for business does it not look professional, it also shows your customers that your business is at risk of getting hacked. And I know everyone in here shares some sensitive information via email. Not supposed to, but sometimes it can't be avoided. So all of these services have become victims of hacks. Gmail accounts have been hacked, and it's not necessarily the service itself. And we all know about Yahoo. Since 2012, hackers have had access to all those Yahoo email addresses. So if you're using a Yahoo address in your business, you're definitely letting your customers know that you're at risk. AOL and Hotmail, same thing, you just don't want to use it. But free email should be used because your customer's information is one of the most important assets that you have. And when customers choose to do business with you, they're trusting that you're not going to share any of that information with any outside party. And it's not just so that they don't wind up on some spammers list. It's so that hackers can't get a hold of those email addresses in order to use those to find out if those emails are associated with the most commonly used passwords out there. So if you got a free email address, you've got to stop. The best thing for you to do, if anyone, and I won't point out names on this one or ask anyone to say, hey, I got a Yahoo account I use for business. But the best thing that you want to do is that you want to set up your own domain for your business. Number one, it looks more professional. But number two, it protects your business and it protects your customers from getting their information stolen. Because the unfortunate thing about the big email companies, they don't immediately let you know when there is an email breach. I mean, Yahoo, we just found out this year, and they've been getting hacked since 2012. So that's no telling how long that information's out there. They're not forthcoming as far as that information is concerned. And the service response time is slow with free email services too. If you have a problem with a Yahoo account or a Gmail account, and we get the calls all the time, hey, I can't check my Gmail account. What can I do? Nothing. Because there's no support for those email addresses. It's free. Your support's through the advertisers are paying for it to be free, but support is not included with that. And if you have a problem, if your business is down, these guys don't care. So get away from it, use domains. Don't stop using free email addresses. Any questions? Yes?
So Google does have an option for you to use your business domain through their G Suite services. Would
Right.
you still recommend against that?
No.
Okay.
Don't have like at gmail.com or at
Okay.
AOL.com or at yahoo.com. But yes, you can use Google, Google Apps for Business or Google for Business because you are using your own domain through Google, so that is okay. Make sure your hosting company has your back. How many businesses in here have their websites hosted off-site? I do. Yes. All right, that's good, but you've got to make sure that you go with a reputable hosting company. Are they using secure practices to make sure that your website is not hacked? Because one of the things hackers will do is that they will commandeer your website and infect it. So when your customers visit it, it'll download a Trojan in the background and start infecting all your customers' computers. We definitely don't want that to happen. What are they doing for backup for your website? So let's say for some reason a hacker does get a hold of your website and you've got to restore it. Can you call your host and can they restore your site from a backup? These are the questions that you need to start asking your providers to make sure that they're giving you the services that you need in order to protect your company. The ones that I recommend, and if there's another hosting company here, don't get mad, but there's HostGator and GoDaddy are the ones that we always recommend because they have good support overall. But they do a good job of backing up their stuff. How many are you using cloud backup to store information in the cloud for your business? Yes, there's not that many. Same questions you should ask with your cloud backup. I was talking to Glenn earlier about a customer that we have that will go unnamed that is using Microsoft OneDrive to share documents across their entire company. Any of you know what OneDrive is? It's Microsoft's cloud backup or cloud service where you can transfer files between your computer to your device. Would I use it on a business scale? I don't know if I can agree with that, because OneDrive is a consumer product. It's designed just to make it convenient for consumers to transfer files back and forth between devices. Should you use it on a business scale? I'm not saying that you shouldn't, but I'm saying if you do, it's a huge risk, because that's not what it's designed to do. You're not protecting your customer's information by storing your information on OneDrive. You've got to use a reputable cloud service that has the right security protocols in place to make sure that your data is protected. So ask those questions if you haven't asked your web host or your cloud provider. You need to make sure that your data is safe. Any questions? Yes, Paul.
Would you consider that the same risk with Google Drive?
Yes, Google Drive is a consumer product. It's geared to make it more convenient. Number one, it's geared so that you'll use Google. If you get Google Drive, you got to set up a Google email account, right? Maybe you'll start using Gmail on the contacts, but it's convenience. It's not meant to be a temporary store or permanent storage to store company files. Same thing with Dropbox. I know people transfer information with Dropbox. How many of you know, no one mentioned it in here, Dropbox got hacked, right? Yeah? So if you got, if you got sensitive information on Dropbox, you need to take it off immediately. It should be a go-between between your secure devices as a business, if you have to use it. I don't think Google got hacked. And I don't think OneDrive has been hacked either. But you want to stay away from the consumer-based web or cloud services and use more services that are geared towards business. Cloud backup, another one. How many businesses in here are using cloud backup to store their information? Like Carbonite and CrashPlan. I know Carbonite, we recommend to a lot of our customers, is excellent. Something happens to the business, information's in the cloud, and they keep 3 months worth of backup. So if your business burns up, your data is safe. And I know for a fact Carbonite has good business practices, because earlier this year, with all of the online accounts being hacked, Carbonite made all its users change their passwords, lock them out of their accounts and said, hey, you can't use our services until you go in and change your passwords. Because Carbonite's been around since at least 2009, and there have been people that haven't changed their passwords since then. And as a business, you have that rotation of employees. You need to be on top of that and change it on a regular basis. And to go back to what I was talking about as far as passwords, for a business, probably every 6 months you need to go through and change all your passwords for all your devices. Create a culture of cybersecurity in your business. Your employees do not know what to click on, nor do they really care. What they really care about is they've got a computer and internet on your dime. And when they're not doing your stuff for your business, surfing the web, checking email, getting on Facebook, posting to social media, and it's putting your business at risk. Because most people don't know what to click on and what not to click on. And that's because most of the viruses and malware that circulate the internet are socially engineered. Does anyone know what that means? Put your hand down, Glenn. All right, I'll let you answer since you raised. Go ahead.
Well, I mean, there's a bunch of ways. Usually it's somebody gets a job.
That's not it.
What are you talking about? That's
Socially engineered viruses. What does that mean?
Socially engineered viruses. I
Yeah.
thought you were just talking about social engineering.
Oh, no.
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 Okay, never mind.
Well, answer the question.
Answer the question.
Yeah.
A socially engineered virus. Now you get me.
I know. Well, anyone else? Yes? No? All right. Socially engineered viruses, scare tactics, is what it basically boils down to. Someone sends you an email, like, let's say Stella got an email from me. Hey, Stella, I'm trapped in Montreal. Can you send me some money? Stella's probably going to say, well, I don't care. But if she got that email from Rusty, then it's a big deal. Oh my gosh, my husband's in Montreal, he's stuck. I need to send him some money. So she clicks on the link, and then malware, you know?
I actually got one yesterday.
Did you? For me?
It's from some, no.
Oh, I was going to say, wait a minute. No wonder you were quiet. It's like,
It was from some unknown source, and it said it's about
as a business, you're like, well, heck, we don't want that.
Yeah.
So did you click on it?
Oh, heck no.
Okay, I didn't know. I would've
Straight
been like-
to the delete folder.
Oh, okay. I'd have been
But yeah, I
tempted.
mean, you look at it, you're
Right.
like, well, what did we miss? You know?
Right. And for larger companies, you have to watch out for that too, because hackers are starting to go into domain names and creating a fake account, like accounts@yourdomain.com, and sending an email to you saying, hey, we've got this issue, this invoice that needs to be taken care of. Click on this link here. Employees, your employees don't know. Have you educated your employees about what to click on and what not to click on? Honestly, yes or no? No, see? And everyone assumes, oh, I hired Jill to work on the computers at our office. She knows about technology. No, she just wrote that on her resume so she'd get a job. You know, how many of you hired employees? Oh, yeah, I'm a proficient at Excel and Word. And you get them in there, and they're not. So the same thing with technology. It's changing all the time. There's no way that they are going to know what the latest and greatest threats are. You got to educate them. You got to set clear policies, educate your employees, and enforce them. Enforce them is important. I mean, to the means of termination. Because if you compromise your customers' emails, I mean, it could be a potential lawsuit and put your business at big risk. So you've got to educate, you've got to make sure that they're on their P's and Q's. Constantly, we are going out to businesses, and there's a quick way to lock out social media accounts on all Windows computers. We're doing that because they get on and they start infecting the computers. So it becomes an endless cycle of, hey, we need your guys to come out to remove viruses from our computer because Susie clicked on something that she wasn't supposed to. And for business, that could be ransomware. And then if your files get locked, and ransomware, I forgot to talk about how dangerous it is the worst virus out there. It will not only infect the computer that it came on, it will go across your entire network and lock up everything. There have been hospitals that have paid ransom. Police stations that have paid ransomware because they didn't have any backup. You know, if you got backup, then you could be like, well, oh well, we're inconvenienced for a day, but we've got our data. But if you don't have a backup, you're done. There's nothing that you can do about it. So you've got to not assume that your employees know what to click on. You've got to sit down with them and say, hey, this is how we operate in this business. This is what you should click on. This is what you shouldn't click on, and you need to update it on a regular basis with your employees. Because trust me, they don't know. You've got to have multiple layers of security in your business. Everyone's got Wi-Fi, I hope. Secured Wi-Fi for their business, yes, no? Probably would be a good idea for a business. I don't know if you have the type of business where you allow your employees to get onto their Wi-Fi network with their own connected devices. If you have a BYOD environment where you can bring on your own device. If you do, you probably need to set up a guest network for your employees to get on with their smart devices versus the wireless network that you have to do business with. Questions that you need to ask yourself in your business. Using the latest operating system software on your office computers. For Windows users, it should be at least Windows 7, Windows 8, and Windows 10. Macintosh users, how many Mac users that we have out here that use Macs in their business? Just one? What OS are you running?
It's something, is it Lion? I can't remember, I just downloaded it.
IB Sierra.
Sierra.
Sierra, okay, yeah. Well, you a Mac user? Yeah. You didn't raise your hand? Oh, I didn't see it.
Oh, it's not for business.
Oh, okay, I got you. But it should be at least El Capitan or Sierra if you have a Mac in your business. Because if you're still running Vista in your business or Windows XP, you're putting your business at risk. Because at least with XP, there have been no security updates since 2012 for XP. So if you got old, outdated operating system, update it. Antivirus software. You got antivirus software? Yes. For home use, free's good. Business use, free's okay. Paid's better. If you got to get paid, ESET is for both Windows and Mac, probably the best antivirus to go with. Yes?
What's your opinion on AVG? Because someone told me AVG is.
I hate AVG now. I used to love it. I had a love affair with AVG, but I hate it now because they've gotten so salesy. And their paid version, and I'll tell you the difference between most antivirus programs, especially the free ones. So let's say you download AVG on your computer, and you're running And then all of a sudden you get the alert that says, hey, you owe us some money. So then you're like, well, heck, I guess it was only free for a little bit. So then you paid. But there is really a free version of ABG out there. But they've gotten more aggressive with their sales pitches that it just becomes a nuisance as far as the computer is concerned. You're either having to pay for it or you're having to deal with alerts from ABG. So I hate it. If you have to use something free, I would recommend Avast. Free antivirus. They're pretty low key as far as sending out alerts. But as far as paid antivirus, ESET, but the difference between the free antivirus and the paid antivirus, at least with Avast and ABG, is that if you pay for it, the only thing they include is a firewall, which in most circumstances is good, but if you've got a secure router in your business, you don't need a firewall. And Windows and most Macs have firewall software built into it, so you don't need it. So, oh gosh. No, they're too robust. I mean, you really need a high-end system to run Norton and McAfee. And then again, the firewalls built into the software can wreak havoc with your network. Because they're software driven, they're constantly changing ports, and eventually sometimes they will block ports on your computer that will not allow you to get access to the internet. So, I mean, you can use them, but you may run into problems with them too. Is there a question back there? Oh, okay. Backup. How many business owners in here, business people, are backing up their data? Yes, please, it should be everyone in here. No? Yes? All right. Got to back up. 2 types of backup for business is my recommendation. Cloud system, just in case a nuke hits your building, or residence if you're home-based, and on-site backup with like an external hard drive. And no excuse, Windows and Mac has backup software built into it. And backup drives are so darn cheap, and they have an insane amount of storage on them. You get a Western Digital Passport for like $100 with like 2 terabytes of storage. You know, and you can have it back up automatically. So.
You recommend SSD or
No, you want the old school platter hard drive. Yeah, SSD is just for people who want to brag about how fast my computer is. Well, it's the truth. But I mean, for a backup drive, that doesn't really make sense because platter drives last longer, and with backing up, you're not worried about speed. All you want is my data to be safe, so if something catastrophic happens, I can refer back to it. And the reason why you want the cloud backup versus the on-site backup is ransomware. If you got an on-site backup, you get ransomware, it'll get that external drive that you've got attached to your server or computer. If you got cloud backup, your ransomware may go to the cloud, but if you're using the right cloud backup service, they got backups of the backup. So then you can always say, hey, I know this stuff was infected with ransomware. Can you go back to my backup Tuesday before we got ransomware? And most cloud companies should be able to restore that for you. Take measures to secure your mobile devices. If you have laptops, how many businesses have employees with laptops out in the field? Yes, you need to encrypt them because I'm sure they've got your personal, or not your personal, but your business data on there. Laptops are still a highly coveted item, especially if you've got a Mac or a Surface tablet. I mean, thieves want them. You need to encrypt that drive so if someone gets a hold of that laptop, they'll not be able to get the information off there. They'll get a bunch of garbage. Same thing with mobile devices. If you supply mobile devices to your employees, you need to make sure at least they're password protected and don't have any company data on it. But password protected at the very least, because smartphones are pretty hard to get into. So password protected. So if the device is lost, and again, your employees with your stuff, I'm sure they care about their own smartphone than they do yours. So make sure that yours is protected. So if they lose it, your data is safe. And there may be a program for the Android, but I know iPhone users. How many iPhone users we have in here? Be a good thing to have for a business because they've got that feature where you can go into iCloud and you can wipe out the device. You just go in, you can locate it, call the cops, say, hey, there's my phone, with Find My Device. But then also you can tell that device to be wiped out, whether it be an iPad or an iPhone, and thieves can't get into it. Yes?
If you use Exchange, you can do that through that as well, within your mobile
You mean Microsoft Exchange? Oh, okay. Well, yeah, that's important. So that's another good thing, good point. Using Exchange email, which means it's hosted from an Exchange server, as opposed to using old school POP email, which means the email is stored on your phone, which kind of puts your business at risk. Or IMAP email, which means it's stored on the server as well. But Exchange, you can remotely wipe it, and then that way none of your emails fall into hackers or thieves' hands. And finally, technology should not be do-it-yourself. You've got a business, at least once a year, you need to have someone come in and make an assessment. If you don't have an IT person on your staff, even if you do, they need to come in once a year, make an assessment, make sure everything is running the way that it's supposed to be running. You need to make sure your antivirus is up to date. This is the time you need to be checking your backups to make sure that your files are actually backing up. Need to check with your cloud service to make sure that those files are backing up, because I can't tell you how many instances we've gone into a business and, hey, we've lost our data, what can you do to do it? And I want to say, well, like on CSI, I can just click my fingers on a keyboard and retrieve your data. It doesn't work that way. If your data's lost, you've got to ship that information off to a clean room where they can recover that data off, and it usually costs thousands of dollars to retrieve information. But once a year, or even every 6 months, just need to make sure all your processes are in place. And maybe have your IT pro come in and talk to your employees about what they should and shouldn't do as far as technology is concerned. Because it's always changing. A couple of years ago, ransomware wasn't a problem, but it is now. Spoofing with Facebook accounts wasn't a problem, but it is now. And then your employees need to know that so they can help protect your business. So, any questions? Yes.
We hear about the state-sponsored hacking that you really have no clue, you know, whether it's Russia, China, North Korea, whatever.
Right.
How does that differ versus just the, you know, general hackers?
Well, from my understanding, state hacking is going after government sites. Most small businesses have to deal with, or the entrepreneurial hackers that occur overseas that are trying to get credit card information from unsuspecting people. So that's really the difference, because I think what you're talking about, the state-sponsored hacking, is more of like the Cold War, which you could call it the Code War. It's just, hey, let's still see who can get the most secrets and exploit them. Whereas what we have to deal with in our businesses and individually are just the people from India saying, hey, I know Joe doesn't keep a secure email. Let's get in here and see what information we can steal and profit from it. It's like viruses that go around now. Used to be viruses were on computers and they would wreak havoc. If your computer was running slow or had a problem, chances are you had a virus on your computer. Not anymore. You'll know that you have a virus on your computer because you'll get that alert with the 800 number saying, hey, Microsoft says you've got a problem and you need to call this number in order to get it taken care of. Or you'll get some bogus utility software that's designed to clean up your computer saying, hey, we can only remove 50,000 items out of your registry. You need to call this number and have us log into your computer and fix it. So you'll know. Yes, any other questions? Good, looks like I covered it or I really sucked. No. Go ahead, yes.
When you're getting, you know, like the fake emails, I'm a caterer, we get them, you know, my mom's birthday's coming up and, you know, they want this ridiculous order. The scam is that they're gonna wire you the payment, so.
Oh, they need your routing number
Yeah,
and bank
so
account
we're not,
number?
of course, we don't do it, but other than reporting that as spam, and we get one almost several times a week, is there any place you report that to, or you
And
just
it's
keep
the Department of
ignoring
Justice,
it?
you can report that too, but I think the most important thing, rather than just sending it on to the government, is just to forward it to your friends and let them know that, hey, here's the latest scam that I got, beware, like Stella in the invoice email. I mean, I had no clue, and I'm sure most of you didn't have any clue about that type of email that's going around. So, I mean, we really need to educate each other and let people know that these scams going around. There are people that are still falling for the 1-800-Microsoft scam. I mean, and it's not just elderly folk either. People think, oh, my poor little sweet mom. What?
What about the UPS, like, billing emails that you get that are not really, they're not really from UPS.
Well, you can send those to UPS and let them know that this is the latest
it's
scam
coming
that
in.
you're getting. Same thing with your financial institution. You get an email from your bank saying, hey, there's been a problem with your account, we need your information. Yeah, I would email your bank, but at the same time, I still would forward it on to your friends. Not like forward it so that they think that, oh no, I got a problem. But to let them know that, hey, this is the scam that's going on, because we definitely need to educate each other with technology. It just moves so quickly, and it's hard to keep up. But I think if we work with each other, especially as small business owners, I mean, we can help deter a lot of the cybercrime that's going on, because the people overseas are just preying on ignorance, and people are ignorant around technology. And I think, and I'll get your question here in a second, and I think the problem is, and I was talking to Vicki about this earlier, with technology, and I think it's because it's sold at Best Buy and Walmart, people think that they have to know everything there is about technology. And that's not the case. It's too complicated. With your car, and I'm sure there's some auto mechanic buffs or enthusiasts in here, but most of us know how to put gas in our car, and when there's a problem, we immediately take it into the shop. But with computers, same thing with the copier at the office. How many people try to, other than removing a paper jam, how many people try to work on their copier machine at the office? Yes? No? You do not.
The key word there is try.
All right.
You said try.
Yeah, try. But for the most part, it's such a complicated machine. I don't even know how to make copies. I made copies for this presentation today. I'm like, hey, can you make copies? It's a complicated machine. I did them, they were black and white. Someone in here's got a black and white copy. That was my goof. Where is it? That's my goof. I didn't know how to make color copies. It's so complicated. So don't ever think with computers, I need to know how to use it or work on them. You don't. You know how to use them. You ever run into problems, you call somebody. And for businesses, call a company. Do not call the, hey, I work on the computer on the weekend kind of guy. It's just too much at risk. Your question.
Yeah, so if you get a suspicious email, is there any problem with opening the email, or is the problem just when you open the attachment?
Well, I would say go ahead and open it, and then they give you my card, and then we'll come out and remove whatever you have. But no, you don't want to. I mean, you can preview it. You definitely don't want to click on a link in the email. You don't want to download the attachment with it. But the best thing to do, if it looks suspicious, just go ahead and delete it out of there.
You mean that $1,000 Walmart gift card's not real?
It might be. You want to? Once you try it out and find out, and let me know what happened. It might, you know. Any other questions? All right. Well, thank you. It was a pleasure.